Hey everybody, I just wanted to pop on. I wanted to talk about flexibility today, and that means flexibility in life, and your journey, and your nutrition, and your well-being. Like, everything is not going to be perfect all the time. It's not going to be the same every single day. We're human, so like consistency, while it is key to, get movement in every day or get proper nutrition in, sometimes it's going to be a little bit different. And I think we get these plans stuck in our head, like we have to do this, and maybe you get sick or your kid gets sick or you get called into work or something comes up that is last minute, and you kind of like, if you are a planner, you kind of like freak out and you're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Like I had this and this planned for dinner, and today I'm not going to be able to eat that. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? You start freaking out. And this is the problem with a structured cookie cutter, one size fits all approach to not only your journey, but especially your nutrition, because nutrition has to be flexible. You're not going to be able to eat the same things every day. Different things are going to be available at the store, and you don't want to have your like a hard set in stone plan and then get to the store and you can't find something, and then you're like, oh my god, what am I going to do? Because I've been there. So if you're a meal prepper, this is probably one of the things that stresses you out. For me, I'm kind of a fly by the seat of my pants kind of person. I really do hate meal prepping. I know it's actually good for me and it actually does benefit me, but sometimes I just don't make the time for it. So and I kind of pre-plan in my head what I'm gonna have, but like if something does come up last minute, I've been in the situation where I have freaked out because I had a plan and then that plan didn't go through, or something came up, or the kids were sick, or I just I didn't make the time to give myself enough time to make a meal or whatnot. So the best thing you can do is, one, always have veggies on hand. So whether that's what we like to do sometimes is, instead of buying like a bunch of different veggies like each individually, we'll just grab like a veggie tray, and then I won't use the dip in the middle. I'll use either like Greek yogurt with spices, or I'll use like watered down dressing or whatnot. And it's always good to have those on hand. Like, you really have to have like crazy amounts of veggies to go overboard, and they're low calorie. And it's something that, like, when you have the tendency to go to the kitchen and you're having some sense hunger, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna grab like a few potato chips or whatever, and we all know when you eat potato chips, you go grab a handful and you're like, okay, this is it, and then you just keep going back and getting more and more and more, and then it kind of snowballs. And then if you're anything like me, like, you want something sweet, and it's just a cycle. So the best thing to do is have veggies on hand, snackable veggies, snapped peas, baby carrots, those little tomatoes. If you're like me, like, I love to snack on those little tomatoes, and so do my kids, or my toddler, I guess. The baby doesn't quite have the teeth for that right now, but it's a really great option to have, and it really does save you from like just grabbing whatever is easiest, especially like if you're on the go a lot. Like, I'm running around, especially on the days that my daughter has preschool, so like I'm kind of just looking for a quick grab. The other thing is having like cheese sticks on hand. Those are really good. Like, you don't want to go overboard with them, but like having one just to grab, like if you're heading out the door, that with some veggies is a good snack. And the other thing that I always have in my pantry is tuna, and like the canned chunked tuna or whatever. Like, if I don't have time for a meal, I know that's a good source of protein. I can throw it in with like some cauli rice, or I can just eat it like with some veggies or whatnot, or make like whatnot in it. And the other thing is, like, I always have like the natural like deli meat on hand. So a lot of times I go for like turkey, Sometimes I have chicken, but I prefer turkey. Just it's a personal preference. And it's always good, like you can, you know, wrap 2 pieces of that up with like a slice of cheese or a cheese stick. And that's a really great protein option, especially if you're on the go. And if you're eating, you know, what works best for your body is eating lower carbohydrates, that's a good option. For me, it is like one of my go-tos just because I'm not a meal prepper. So for lunch, a lot of times I'll just do like a piece of Swiss cheese with, you know, like 2 pieces of turkey, and then I'll have like a veggie, and then a fruit. And fruit is another good thing to have on hand because we get a lot of our nutrients from fruit and veggies, right? We're getting like different vitamins, minerals. So it's really good to have fruit on hand. One fruit that I usually always have in my refrigerator is an apple. Whatever kind of apple you like, you can have that by itself. Just eat it whole. You can slice it up, eat it with a little bit of peanut butter. You know, you can have it with some, you know, Laughing Cow cheese or a cheese stick or whatever. Those are really good healthy options to have. Quick grabs. And you can have those around for those things when those moments where, you know, you need to be a little bit flexible, but you still have healthy options. So other things would be like, these are things that I have on hand, but I usually try to go for like veggies or a fruit and protein first, are like packaged, you know, like protein popcorn for like, for just a healthy snack, like something quick and easy. You can throw it in. I found these, if you're in Canada, a lot of times they have it at Winners. They have like a great snack section. They'll have like different kinds of protein bars and things like that. And you don't want to have those all the time, but those are good in situations where you need to be flexible. The protein popcorn, I think, is called Protes, maybe Protes. And they have 2 different kinds, and those are one of the things that I like to have on hand, especially when my husband and my daughter are snacking on like chips or something. It's got, I think, like 8 grams of protein, and the carbohydrates are really low, and it's for like 2.5 cups a serving. It is whey protein, so if that's something that doesn't agree with you, it is like a hit or miss thing. Sometimes whey does, it depends on the brand. This brand doesn't affect me as much, but those are really good options to have. Even those small bags of like Smart Pop popcorn, you probably don't want to eat like a whole bag, but if you do, it's not the worst thing. It's better than like potato chips or, you know, like some food that has a lot of oil or things like that. Or you can make your own popcorn with like a little bit of coconut oil or you know, whatever works for you. If popcorn is your thing, I love to have popcorn every once in a while just as a snack. And then like protein bars. Protein bars are a lot of times higher in sugar, so I don't have those a lot of times, but like a Beach Bar would be a good option. It's got I think about 10 grams of protein in it, so it's a good option to have with, you know, a veggie or things like that on the go. If you're on the go, it's important to have these quick snackable things. Otherwise you're gonna, you know, eat out and you're gonna not make the healthiest choices. Even if you do eat out and have a salad, a lot of times those salads have a bunch of cheese, a lot of oil, unless you eat it without the dressing and ask for no cheese. But we all know we don't want to be eating salads all the time. So good options to have. You can even throw some, you know, deli meat or like a tuna wrap into like an insulated lunchbox, and, you know, have that in your vehicle if you know you're going to be out and you want to avoid, you know, fast food restaurants or making purchases that don't necessarily benefit your health. So those are really great things, but always just remember to remain flexible. Like if you have a plan, if it doesn't work out, just make sure that you have something like as a backup, or have something, you know, like maybe you get a call that you need to go pick up a friend from somewhere and it's right at lunchtime. Well, okay, great. You can grab, you know, cheese stick and an apple and some baby carrots on your way out. And it's not going to necessarily replace your lunch, but it's going to keep you from going to a fast food restaurant and going, you know, too long without eating. You kind of overdo it. So you want to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success. And the other thing is with your fitness. So I'm the type of person that if I start a program or I turn on a workout video, like I feel like I have to finish, which is a good quality to have, because a lot of times, you know, when we think it's getting too hard, a lot of people will just shut it off. But this has to do, like, so maybe if you're streaming your workouts, or you're just not really feeling the workout that's scheduled for the day, make up your own workout, like dance or, you know, jog in place, or like do whatever cardio moves you feel like, and just do them for like an amount. Make up your own workout, get creative, do a little trial and error. Lately I've really been kind of challenging myself to find workouts that I can come up with. It's kind of like a fun game for me that I'm finding, you know, putting these moves together and only giving myself 10 seconds, or playing around with the intervals and then playing around with the rest times, and seeing how it works for me. And it's really fun for me. And you can do that with strength training too. You can do supersets, or you can do circuits, or whatever works best for you. Just play around with it. Don't get so caught up on that you have to do this specific workout because it's what's on the schedule. If you are not like, if you like really dread this workout and it's not fun for you, and you're just like, oh, I have to work out, like you make it a chore, it's really going to affect your mindset, your headspace, and your determination to, you know, get your body moving. So just at the end of the day, as long as you're getting your body moving for 30 minutes to an hour a day, you're going to benefit from that. And you want to have fun with your fitness. You want to have fun with your journey, because if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? You want to find joy in it. You want to try out different things. Trial and error will be your best friend. You are your own, you know, experiment when it comes to, you know, nutrition and fitness and what works for you. And the other thing is be flexible with mindset. So, before I started school, every single morning I would wake up, I would listen to a podcast, and I would really benefit from that. But with school, instead I'm waking up and doing you know, I'm reading like 5 pages and taking notes and absorbing that information. And I was really getting down on myself. I'm like, oh, you know, like I'm not making the time to do these podcasts. And as long as you are putting in some type of work when it comes to mindset and knowledge, you're gonna be fine. Like, you don't have to do it all at one time. Like, one day listen to a podcast, one day read a book, one day read a study on something you're interested in. You just want to make sure that you are working on your personal development and your mindset, because those things are crucial. Even if you are you know, struggling mentally, if you are able to improve your headspace by reading, you know, a few pages of something, or listening to podcasts, even if you can't finish the podcast, listening to, you know, 10-15 minutes of a podcast, and some of them are super short with a lot of great information. Those are amazing tools to work on your personal development, and always be a student and always be progressing, because when you're learning, you know how to improve things, you can tweak things, and you can work on that trial and error with estimated guesses and educated guesses. Not, oh, so-and-so told me this worked for them, I'm gonna add a bunch of fats into my diet, and it's gonna work for me. Probably not. Unless you've done your research and you know how to properly add those in and to work with your macronutrients. You want to set yourself up for success. You don't want to take somebody else's word for it. You want to do your own research and find what works best for you, because you are an individual. It's not a cookie cutter thing. It's not a one size fits all thing. Everybody, every single person who is on a journey is unique. It doesn't matter if you the same height, the same weight, the same body type, you know, sister, brother, cousin, whatever, mom, dad, it doesn't matter. Each and every person has something different that is going to work for them. Every single person, their journey is going to be just a little bit different than the next person. So remember that when you take on these diets and these one size fits all kind of approaches to your health and fitness, just remember that while it's a great structure and it's a great outline, don't be afraid to tweak things if they don't work for you. If you feel like you like the program, you like the moves, you like that it's lifting heavy, but you feel like it's too fast, like write down the moves, turn on some music, and try to go at a pace that feels comfortable for you, that is still working the muscles and giving you proper rest, but also allowing you to focus on proper form. And same thing goes with nutrition. Like if you feel like what's working, as far as nutrition goes, if you feel like it was working for a while and then now you've kind of like slowed down, or you've hit a plateau, or you've kind of stalled, change something up. A lot of times it just takes the smallest tweak, adding water, adjusting one of the macronutrients, and you see, great results eventually. So please remember, if you don't get anything else from this, please remember that your journey is unique. What works for me is not going to work for you, and vice versa. And don't be afraid to branch out on your own. Don't be afraid to change it up. Don't be afraid to be your own experiment, trial and error, and don't forget to be flexible. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you guys on the next episode. So much for tuning in today and sharing this time with me. Please stay tuned for future episodes and check out my podcast.